Welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a little bit different. When I first started making this channel, I wanted it to be about hiking and making things, so this one's going to be about making things. And today, we're making Cyclops' visor. I recently went with my brother to go watch Spider-Man Brand New Day in 40X, which is insane, but you should do it. And spoilers, but one of the big reveals of the movie was that Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey. And what that means is the X-Men are coming. My favorite character in the X-Men is Cyclops. And we actually just got a reveal that Cyclops is going to be played by Kit Connor. And Emma Frost will be played by Samara Weaving. With this reveal, I got really excited. And Cyclops being my favorite character, I wanted to make his visor for the Avengers Doomsday movie. Way back in 2024, my brother and I actually did get dressed up for Deadpool and Wolverine. I had a Cyclops visor that I made out of styrene, and I liked it, but this time we're going to try to make it out of foam. I also want to make it clear that we are balling on a budget. I used foam from a floor mat, and you can see here that I made basically an outline of how I wanted everything to be cut out. We're going to go for more of the classic look rather than the different newer types of visors that they've done for Cyclops. So I cut this out with a sharp knife, and that's really what you want to try to cut it out with. Here I stacked two on top of each other and put wire in between them. For the ears, I cut out a little circle, and I did that for both. And then you can kind of see how this turns out. I really did like the way this looked. This visor, what we're using there is a binder sleeve, and it is see-through, so I can see through it if it's pressed right against my face, but you cannot see my eyes, which I really like. The next version that I'm going to try to work on will hopefully have lights in it, so the lights will go back and forth and make it look like there's actually some sort of power behind the visors. This is the wiring that I was using to kind of hold everything together, and I used super glue to make the connection stick. The wires weren't super hard, and they're not super expensive at all. This is kind of what it looked like when it was on my face, and I wasn't super happy with it. Kind of big on my face. With the ears, I wanted to make them where they could turn. And you can see that I put clay on it there, and this is normal clay. I was hoping this wouldn't crack. But yeah, I wanted the ears to turn.
So now,
and here I was working on the clay a little bit more.
Seal it.
The visor is a little bit too big if you look at what the original Cyclops visor looks like. It's supposed to be a little bit thinner. When you put clay on anything, if you wet your fingers, it makes everything look a lot smoother. And that was what I was trying to do here, was smooth everything out. Everything had been super glued together at this point. And I was feeling really, really confident about what this was looking like and that it was going to be pretty good. It was pretty comfy. I was feeling confident until the next morning. And here's one of the problems with regular clay: it cracks. So I had to make a new one. And also, if you want different kinds of clay, there is a type of clay that is used for cosplay stuff. So I went out for a walk, and an idea struck me. I should make a second type of visor. Because I didn't like the first one. Version number 2, my favorite child. This visor is a lot thinner and fits my face a lot better. And I made it longer so that it actually fits into the ears and they could all super glue together without me using wire on the front. Now, there's still wire on the back, and that's purposeful just because it makes it less visible on the back of my head. And you can't quite tell that the wire's there when it's on my head. I had to put 2 little pegs in the visor, and that's just to keep it open. And what this is Mod Podge. Now, Mod Podge is kind of like a glue mix, and you'll put it on to the visor, and that'll make everything kind of seal a little better for when you start painting, which I started doing here. Now, I made the mistake of using regular paint. If I was to do this again, I would use an air sprayer because that would make the paint come out a lot better. And I would also use a Dremel to do the cuts because that would make everything a lot smoother. Whereas this, obviously you can see a lot of ridges, you can see the paint's kind of everywhere. I don't hate it, but it's not what I wanted. And here is the visor. As you can see, it's looking a lot better. Here's the finished product. And like I said, this is on a budget, but I really think it turned out pretty well. Everything's super glued on there. You can see the bottom pegs that I put there because that looks a little bit more better to Canon. And the earmuffs I really liked because I wanted them to hold on to my ears a little better. So I like the design. We're going to try it better next time.
Now, the goal is to make more of these videos and get better with this, because this is clearly not the best, but, you know, I don't hate it. If you like this video, like, subscribe, let me know in the comments. See you guys next time.